I'm the best all the time. I'm a paramedic to save lives. I was like, holy, what am I doing? You know, this person's going to die. What the hell? And I was writing about my nightmares. I was writing about, you know, the PTSD crap that I carried back with me from the service. And I'm just like, you know, all the confusion that's coming to the surface because I'm back in the adrenaline pumping crap again, even as a student. And that was formative for me. But being able to write about it, not only just to put it out there, but to have other people read this and come back to me and say, yeah, that is awesome, or yes, you're inspiring, or it was really great reading that, or reading that made me cry, was really validating, because we get a save, you know you've done a good job. But, you know, people die more than we save them. Or, you know, you patch that girl back up again, and you know she's going to be back to the guy that beats her next week. So, you know, there's a lot of disheartening parts. And even beyond that, you're like your own self-doubt. Well, did I get that tube really right? Or did I do that properly? Or should I have done it that way? And, you know, and of course me, I'm always double-checking myself, which leads into self-doubt. And to hear other people say, that was awesome and inspiring. And so then my blog evolved, and I started talking about, you know, because during my education time, I had some pretty momentous events happen. My wife's mother died. I was going to adopt girls. My twin daughters died. Things were getting a little more exciting than I would have preferred. And I wrote about it. And I wasn't feeling like a personal connection to the people that were listening and reading my blog, but they were answering that, and I was getting some kind of feedback. I have a strong, close family, and I was getting all the emotional support that I really needed from them, but it was nice to connect to my audience. And then I had this guy who's a I guess he was a US citizen living in Japan, and he started asking really intelligent, prescient questions about what EMS was. What is BLS? What is ALS? Why do we do it different? And I'm already in the educational setting as a student. I'm excited about my subject matter. I start answering his questions. And then all of a sudden, I'm writing about stuff. And then I get an email from my brother. I didn't even know my brother was reading my blog. You know, and I love my brothers very much. And he's like, dude, that is so awesome. I didn't even know about that. My little brother, because I'm the baby of the family. Look at me, right? And he's like, that was so great, that was so awesome, I never thought about that, and what you're doing out there is amazing, and it's just all this self-affirming, and it wasn't affirming to my ego and who I am, but I made a conscious choice to abandon what would have been a relatively comfortable lifestyle to become a paramedic, not because I want to be a hero, but because being a paramedic is exactly perfectly right for me, and to have that affirmed by non-medical personnel who read my blog, by my family members who read my blog, by my colleagues that read my blog, has been really validating. And so that was amazing support as I entered into the field as a professional after being a student. Then I got into the area where blogging made things difficult. People started to know who I was. Or maybe I was worried that they started to know who I was. I started going in education. I can't write about my students. We've got laws about that. And then there's HIPAA laws. And then I started getting scared. You know, am I going to get in trouble for writing this? Are people going to recognize themselves in my blog? Because I use nicknames and I use pseudonyms and stuff. You know, I try to maintain anonymous. But some of the nicknames I choose for my, you know, colleagues are not exactly. You know, I named a guy Roswell because he looks like a frickin' alien. You know, if Roswell reads that and he's like, what are you doing? He's going to be beating me up. He's going to come back from Germany and beat me up because he's over there now. So, you know, what do I do with that? And then one day I'm working at the university and I was still blogging a little bit, and a student walks by and he goes, hey, Mad Dog. And that was enough to make me go, oh, crap. One of my students is reading my blog. I can't write anymore. I can't. You know, and I backed off for a while. And then I got this job overseas, and I got an employer who's really picky about, you know, their public image. And so I have to be really careful about what am I writing and what am I putting out there as a blogger, talking about my experiences. So I tried to time delay some of my posts. I'm like, okay, I had an experience here. I'll write about it 3 months later. But we all know, as writers, that takes the freshness out. Now I'm getting a clinical analysis of my memory from 3 months ago, and I'm not writing about the raw emotion of coming off that call and being like, you know, did I kill him? Or that was freaking awesome, or I had a save, or, you know, whatever. You know, that element's gone. And so I started getting disheartened. I was like, well, why am I doing this? You know, and stuff like that. And so now I've kind of come around the corner. It's like, okay, I know the boundaries in which I can operate, and I have an entirely different set of subject matter. I don't have as many calls as I did when I worked in the United States, but I'm a US paramedic working in the Middle East. Oh man, I got a crap load to write about. you know? And I think I figured out how I'm going to navigate this really treacherous maze of anonymity and preserving my job. And I think meeting other people, meeting my other bloggers and readers and people who are in the industry that are paying attention to bloggers is like, oh yeah, there's people who actually read my crap. I'm looking at my stats. I'm like, oh, I had 6 readers yesterday. Okay, and I'm looking at where they came from. Oh, it's the same people all the time. And I think that's mom, But to actually know that you guys are reading my stuff and to walk in here knowing that I haven't published anything substantive in almost a year and say, you're Mad Dog? Holy crap. So, powerfully validating. I thank you all for re-inspiring me to put some words out there.
Cheers. Cheers.